Hey everyone, it is me E and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I thought we would do sort of a retrospective. This is the end of 2020, which is probably one of the worst years in history. I know that it was a tough year for me personally, but it's coming to a close now and we can look forward with optimism to the next year. But even though this year was rough, there's still some good things that happened. Like, for example, I started this YouTube channel and it became a really great outlet for my creativity. I also want to say before we get started that in my last video about New Year's resolutions, I guess you could maybe say bragged about how much I accomplished in the year 2020, which really wasn't that much. But a lot of people have talked about how they weren't able to accomplish their goals in this year. And I just want to say that, like, even if you just made it to the end of 2020, that's an accomplishment, even if you didn't meet any of your goals this year. But let's just jump into it. We're going to go in kind of like a reverse chronological order. And so the most recent video that I uploaded to my channel was my 2020 Christmas doll repaint. This is my reindeer princess doll. She turned out pretty cute, I think. And I had a lot of fun with it. And she's been on display, and I'm going to put her back on display as soon as I'm done filming this video. But that's her. Next up, we'll talk about a series I did of 2 videos where I designed some of my own Harvest Moon bachelors and bachelorettes. And I really enjoyed doing a little bit of character design, and I felt very inspired by this. So this was Jordan, Cree, Marsha, Bunny, Arthur, Marcus, Rob, and Luther. And I thought they were really cool characters. I did these, like I said, in 2 different videos, and there's whole backstories, I guess you would say, to all of these characters, and so you can check that out in that video. The next thing I'll talk about is I did just a video about doodles that I did on my iPad. So we'll flip through some of those. Look at this one. That one's pretty funny. I drew this kind of skinny model girl. You can see it's very sketchy. Just something to be kind of loose. This little moose guy, and then this gross little demon pink elephant thing. That was just kind of a fun video to film, and maybe something that I was hoping would help inspire some people. The next video going back was a video where I talked about all the video games I have beaten. And in that video I was talking about how I was currently playing Super Mario Odyssey. Well, I can say now that I did beat Super Mario Odyssey, so that's kind of the follow-up to that video in case you were wondering where my progress was on that. But this is the art piece that I drew to accompany that video. Then I did a video on my top 10 episodes of Steven Universe, and for that I drew the 3 main crystal gems, amethyst, pearl, and garnet. And that was a video that was requested by a viewer on my channel, so I very much appreciated that. Then I did a video where I ranked the TV shows that I had seen every episode of, and I did 2 pieces of digital art for that. I did this piece, which covered basically the cartoon characters, and I really love the way this turned out. I think the colors are just wonderful, and I loved the cell shading and gradients that I used. I think Star turned out the best. She just looks so vibrant and cartoony, which she is, so I guess that's fitting. And I also did this drawing, which was just some icons or symbols from sitcoms, basically, or adult shows. Bob's Burgers is represented on here. Bob's Burgers is a cartoon, but it's for adults or families, I guess you would say. But that's the marble rye from Seinfeld, and the yellow umbrella from How I Met Your Mother, and that's A's signature from Pretty Little Liars. Of course, that's from Friends. This was a design on a t-shirt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and this is from Parks and Recreation. This is from a video I did about what I think me and my husband's future child would look like. I'm pretty open on my channel about my kind of struggles and sadness with not having any children. So I did this as kind of a part of that series of videos about that subject. And then I also did a video about Jackie Kennedy, and I really like the way that this piece turned out. I think it's beautiful and ethereal, and I don't know, I think it captures how lovely she was. Then the next video that I did going back in time was my Halloween doll repaint. I think that her face is amazing. Probably one of the best faces I've ever done on a doll. I just think that I perfectly captured the expression that I was going for. You know, she's kind of cute, but she looks kind of sinister at the same time. So I really liked her, and I think I had more fun working on her than I did on my Christmas doll, honestly, but I like them both, and I'll set her up there with her. Then I did a video going back in time still. This is an art piece I did for Legend of Korra. I talked about in that video the reasons I wouldn't be rewatching Legend of Korra on Netflix, and I did an accompanying piece of art. I did a self-portrait on my iPad. I'm sorry about that glare. But I did this self-portrait, and I think it looks really cool. It doesn't really look as much like me as I would like, but I think that stylistically it's really awesome, and I like the exaggeration on it. Looking back, I also made several amiibo videos where I talked about making my own amiibos. The most recent one, I made Bella, Flip, and Kabuki, and I think they turned out really cool. For this one, I did them more in my own style versus trying to mimic or recreate or capture the style of the video game itself. I also read and reviewed Midnight Sun on my channel this year, which is a book in the Twilight Saga that is told from Edward's perspective, and I was pretty critical of it, but I really liked this piece of art I did for it. I actually put a lot of effort into this considering how kind of critical and tongue-in-cheek my actual review was. But that's what happens when you're having fun. I also did a video about my struggles in conceiving, which, like I said, I was trying to be kind of open about this year on my channel. It's something that's really difficult. I don't talk about it in real life very much, and it's very isolating and sad, so it's nice to sort of get those feelings out sometimes by talking about it on my YouTube channel. And I also did a digital drawing of Addison from Zombies, which this is like the first like full-on digital art piece that I made on my iPad, and I really like it. I like her pose. I think it's energetic and it's fun and happy. And that kind of is a segue into my series that I did on basically all of the Disney Channel original movies. I watched them all and I ranked them all, so let's get into those pieces of art. I did a piece of art for Lemonade Mouth, which is probably one of my all-time favorite DCOMs. And in that video, I also did art for Get a Clue and for the newest Disney Channel original movie, which was called Upside Down Magic. I did a video where I talked about Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure and other Disney Channel original movies that I didn't like. I talked about Buffalo Dreams in the accompanying video with this art piece and other like random Disney Channel movies. Then of course was the Halloween video, which is one of the more viewed videos on my channel, and it's one of my favorites. I feel like the art in this was really good, and I feel like maybe I'll get this framed or something and I can hang it up around Halloween time. Another one that was pretty highly viewed was, for my channel anyway, was ones about Disney Channel original movies that were based on TV shows, so I drew Kim and Shigo from that because I love those too. I reviewed the Descendants movies and other trilogies, so I drew this picture of Mal. And then I covered sequels, and Zombies was my absolute favorite Disney Channel original movie, so I obviously drew some fan art for that, and I think it is so cute. I drew Den Brother. And this piece for Avalon High, I think, turned out really well, actually. This is another one of my favorite pieces of art that I made on my channel this year. For a movie that I don't really care about that much. This is for Read It and Weep, which was one of my favorite DCOMs as a kid. We have A Ring of Endless Light represented in this one, which is a movie about this girl who could communicate with dolphins. So there's that. I actually really like that movie. It sounds stupid, but I liked it. And then this is for the movie Brink, which was the first Disney Channel original movie review video that I published on my channel. And it's pretty highly viewed as well because it's the first in the series. So if you want to watch that series, go back and start with this one. And that's all of my Disney Channel original movie art. I made a lot of it this year, and that was probably one of the most fun things on my channel, was going through and reviewing all of those. Next up, I'll talk about some more Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons art. So this was redrawing bachelors and bachelorettes that already existed in the game. So there's Potpourri, Anne, Celia, Luna, Rock, Joe, Ellen, Sky, Neil, Cliff, Jamie, Sarah, Kai, Lily, Lloyd, Renee, Fritz, and Lumina. And I really enjoyed doing those videos as well. People from Reddit came over and watched them, and I really appreciated their viewership and their support on those videos. I really like Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons, so I'll probably talk more about those games on my channel in the future. Somehow, someway, there's a new Story of Seasons game coming out in March called Pioneers of Olive Town, and I will probably be playing and reviewing that game in some form or fashion on my channel. I did a video this year reviewing all of the episodes, or ranking, I should say, all of the episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and this is the art that accompanied that video. I also made a video this year about the BLM movement, and I just wanted to let people know where I stood on that in case that was something that would impact whether or not you wanted to watch my YouTube channel. So I made a video about that. And moving forward, I'm probably never going to talk about anything that could even be remotely considered political. I personally don't think that Black Lives Matter is a political statement, but some people do. And moving forward, I'll probably never talk about anything like that again on my channel, but I thought it was important, so I wanted to talk about it. I made another doll this year, which was this Minnie Mouse doll. I think she turned out just okay. The craftsmanship on her outfit was not very good, not my best, but I'm very bad at sewing and I'm just getting a little bit better at it now. But I do like her face a lot. I think that her facial expression turned out basically exactly how I wanted it, and that is really cool. This is a piece of art I did of Timothy Q. Mouse. He's from Dumbo, and Dumbo is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. I just think Dumbo is so cute. And the video that I did this in was in a No Buy Year update video that I did about halfway through the year. I did another amiibo video wherein I made these 3 cards. And on the Animal Crossing subject, I also did a video where I drew my favorite Animal Crossing villagers as humans. So this is Daisy. This is Kabuki. In the games now, he acts like an old man, but back in the day, the grumpy villagers didn't necessarily seem old. They just seemed cranky, so I didn't draw him as an old man in this piece. I drew Lucky, I drew Gala, and I drew Poncho and Ketchup. The first amiibo video that I did on my channel has the most views of any video on my channel, which I suppose is not that surprising because people were really interested in making amiibos and finding amiibos. When Animal Crossing New Horizons first came out, amiibos were not available for purchase. So the only way you could get amiibos was paying like basically an upcharge of secondhand amiibo cards or of unopened packs, but that came from some online store or something. So either you could do that or you could make your own amiibos, and making your own amiibos is way cheaper. So I can't remember exactly who I made in that first video. I think it was Stitches and Gale, maybe someone else. I had already made Vesta and Genji, I think, at that point. But I've made a ton of amiibos. So there's Wolfgang, Lionel, Melba, Dobie, Rold, Whitney, Butch, Alfonso, Sterling, Al, Maple, Big Top, Ketchup, Lily. I think Lily is who I made in that first video. Peanut, Poncho, Poppy, Daisy, Anka, Diana, and Gala. And I had a lot of fun making these. Obviously, like, I used them all in my game to invite people to Harv's Island to get their posters, but there are villagers who I thought I would invite to move to my town that I never wound up inviting. But I did invite Kabuki using my amiibo card. I also did an Easter doll repaint this year. So this was my Easter Bunny girl. This is my most popular doll repaint video on my channel, and it's also the first one I did, obviously. And I think that her face turned out really special and unique, and I like it a lot. Her outfit's pretty cute as well. Again, craftsmanship is not the greatest. I think my reindeer girl, her jacket is probably the best sewing I've ever done for a doll project, but her outfit still turned out cute, and I love the little purple carrot on her overall apron dress. This piece of art accompanied a review of Animal Crossing New Horizons that I did, and this depicts, obviously, Isabelle and Tom Nook arm wrestling, and Isabelle is winning, clearly. I did a video wherein I painted my dog, and I think it turned out really cute, and I love it. I also did a video about Figment, who is a mascot for Disney in Epcot, and I did one painting of his original design and one of what I wish he looked like, because I think Figment's kind of grotesque, honestly. But if you like him, shout me out and I'll package this up and mail it to you. I did 2 videos about writing a novel. I actually finished this novel this year, but these are original characters from that novel. Their names are Jayla, Wesley, and Thiago, and I really love this book, and I can't wait to let more people read it and see what they think of it. Then I did a bunch of like shipping art, whatever you want to call it, basically fan fiction in art form. And I had a lot of fun doing that this year. It was in February, and it was obviously meant to be like kind of a Valentine's Day series. So moving backwards in time, the last one I did was Sam and Freddie from iCarly. I heard that they're going to reboot iCarly, but Jeanette McCurdy didn't want to be a part of the project. From my understanding, working for Dan Schneider and working for Nickelodeon is not very fun sometimes, and I think that's probably why Jeanette McCurdy doesn't want to come back for the reboot. But I'm personally not interested at all in a reboot if it doesn't involve Sam, because she's my favorite character. Even though she's kind of the worst, she's the best to me. I did a Zutara video as well. I loved this video, and it got a lot of love from people online, and I really appreciated that, and I joined a Facebook community through this video. So that was a really awesome moment for me on my YouTube channel, making connections with some people online. I did Ash and Misty from Pokemon. I always kind of shipped them when I was a kid. And the last of the shipping series was Kim and Ron from Kim Possible. This piece of art didn't really turn out, but I like their pose anyway. Next up, I'll talk about this piece I did. This piece was done as a tribute to Neil Peart, who died earlier this year, which is really sad. Rush was my favorite band, basically, and so I wanted to do something to, I don't know, as a memorial to him, I guess. And then I did some videos about my New Year's resolutions. So this was a video that I made about my financial goals. This was a video about my health and wellness goals. And this was the video about my creative goals. And I got a lot better this year at making videos and editing videos and all that kind of stuff. And I had so much fun this year making art. I feel like if it weren't for this YouTube channel, I know for a fact I wouldn't have made as much art as I did this year. And there are still so many other like art channels on YouTube. They draw so much more than I do. And of course, this isn't everything I drew this year. I drew things that weren't on my channel that were just for like my personal sketchbooks and stuff. But most of my drawings have probably in some form or fashion made it onto this YouTube channel. So I hope that you enjoyed my YouTube channel this year. If you missed any of these videos, you should go back and watch them and let me know what you think. And I think it'll be really fun. So thanks so much for watching. Happy New Year. I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I will see you in 2021 for more videos and more art. Bye-bye.